So adventure is a really big part of my life. And if you've been listening to the last few days, you'll know that I am in Bali at a clinic owners retreat. And a couple of people have asked me on this trip some questions about travel. Like, do I travel a lot on my own because I seem really comfortable with it? How do I choose where to go? Am I really spiritual? You know, I've got a lot of these kind of questions and they're all really nice, and it's a privilege, and I'm very grateful to, one, be able to travel, and also to look comfortable and to be comfortable whether I'm traveling solo or whether I'm traveling with somebody. But it got me thinking about some of the aspects of travel and what I think are really important lessons about travel. And the first thing being, I don't actually think that we all need to travel. If travel is not your jam, that is completely fine. You need to find the thing that is meaningful to you. Because I don't believe that we should be traveling or going on holidays just to escape from our everyday lives. So it's such a cliche, but it's true. We need to actually build lives that we don't need to escape from. So there is research on things like digital detoxes and so on, that if we don't put in place the right habits, tools, strategies, systems in our day-to-day lives, and we go off on this digital detox or we go off on a holiday, the length of time it takes us to get back to normal is actually the same as we've done the detox or the holiday for. So if we don't have the right rhythms of work in our lives, if we don't have hobbies and things that we enjoy, and then we take ourselves on a holiday and we, rest to death, where we marinate in bed, or we overeat and overdrink, or we do something totally different, then yes, we might feel like we're in total holiday mode and everything's great and wonderful, but the post-holiday blues come about really quickly when we get back. And it's said that it takes us about the same length of time as the holiday to sort of return back to the same habits. The same with the digital detox. It takes us about the same length of time that we did the detox to, get back to the constant staring at our phones. So really important to look at our habits, our tasks, our rhythms, and so on in every day to day. So we find these little peak moments that we don't need to go overseas for. Now, in saying that, to me, going overseas is amazing. I love creating these peak moments. I create things I look back on with nostalgia. I build these amazing connections with people. And the second thing I wanted to discuss was the relationships. So I have built intentionally to a part of my life where I value and I prioritize the relationships with people that are my peer group. Or, my brother, I will try to travel with him and do some adventure things so I have that connection with family. Or I really value my trail running friends because they are accountable and reliable. And if we say we're going to do something, then we do it. I think as a business owner, as a leader, as a human, if you want to achieve extraordinary things in your life, it's so important the people you surround yourself with. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that are choppy, changey, that can't commit to what they say they're going to do, it is a huge energy drain. So it's really important that we surround ourselves and actively and intentionally build those relationships all the time. But for me, it's really important for me to also be able to do things on my own when I need to. One, for thinking space, which is so important, I think, to all leaders, to all business owners, because we need to get into that creative zone. And two, so I actually get to do the things that I want to do rather than waiting around for other people all the time. If we spend our lives waiting for everyone to be ready, then we're never actually going to take action. But as a good friend of mine said, you don't suddenly wake up one day and be able to travel or be able to go and climb a mountain or do these things on your own. So it's a muscle that you build over a period of time. And it starts with something maybe like just going for a coffee on your own. Okay, so finding those things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone, doing things out of your comfort zone every day or every week has such a positive impact on your adaptability in work and in life. So it's not just the benefit of the holiday or the doing something new on the holiday or the nice pictures, but it's that knock-on effect after the fact. And I think the next piece is twofold, really. So one, in a business or in leadership or if you have kids, or all of these many things and responsibilities and roles that we have in life. First of all, freedom is built long before you take the trip. So it's built in a series of decisions. So I have this list of places I want to go and things I want to do. And some of the things require work. So they might require training, or they might require saving, or they might require a lot of time off work, or sorting our dogs, or they might require booking a significant amount of time in advance. There's a couple of things that we want to do that we will need to book 2 or 3 years in advance. So it's a commitment. And it involves saying no to something else. So again, every yes is a no to something else, right? There's an opportunity cost to everything. So there is that, like, navigation piece, first of all, right? The second stage of my Endurance framework. And we're building all of these little systems and things to build that freedom to take the trip, sometimes years in advance. But there is never the perfect time to go and do something. So every time I go to do something, and every time I go to do something in my business, whether it's hiring someone new, not every time, a lot of times, hiring somebody new, moving to a new premises, taking on a new project, there's never the perfect time. If you wait for the perfect time to start, you wait for the perfect time to do things or take the trip, the perfect time will never come. So you can't wait until everything lines up. So I actually have quite a simple and a structured process about travel now. I don't get overly stressed about things. I do things on a need-to-do basis. If I don't have a visa for Bali before I get to Bali, I know I can get a visa on arrival. If I have to queue a little bit longer for it, that's on me. I tend to take things calmly, which is an emotional regulation that you can also take into your leadership and into your business, rather than reacting to every little thing. And so these are all skill sets that we can build without having to go overseas to do it. Taking the trip, taking the time off, taking the afternoon off to spend time with your kids, shutting away your phone for a few days. None of these things require money or a flight, but they can all give you the reward of presence. And these are things like presence, entering a new thinking space, building your relationships. All of these things are skill sets that you will take with you throughout life. So I urge you and encourage you that if there is something you want to do, whether it's travel, whether it is going to a restaurant that nobody else will go with, whether it's trying a new hobby, that you try to adopt some of these things of intentionally building the relationships with people who will do it, or trying to, build up those new friends, get out of your comfort zone. Take those little steps to build the muscle to do new things all of the time, because ultimately you will thank yourself for it, and see how you can build that freedom in advance so that when opportunity does knock for you to do something new, whatever it might be, that you can actually take it. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow for more from Endures. Bye.